Hello everyone, welcome again to Salesforce Women in Tech Group Kolkata. We are here today with day 2 of Pardot Zero to Hero workshop, and we are super glad that we have another yet super marketing champion with us to share his guidance with us. A very quick introduction about me. My name is Khyati Mehta. I am Salesforce Marketing Champion. I was recently featured on Salesforce blog for my outreach work. Professionally, I work as a Salesforce developer at Cognizant Technology Solutions. I am 4x Salesforce certified. I am 2x Copado certified and 1x Flossin Professional certified. I love everything about community, and hence I am a community speaker, a trailhead mentor, and I also love blogging. The blog's name is all about Salesforce. So we have certain contests that we are running throughout the workshop. One of them is tweeting your heart out over Twitter and LinkedIn. And don't forget to tag us. The tags are mentioned over here with Pardot, myself, Kyatu07, and Anurag Parekh, and also Pardot Champs, and also use hashtags with Kolkata and with Pardot. All you need to do is just tweet about the event, about any key takeaways, what you like, what you dislike, anything. Just tweet your heart out. So the agenda of the workshop is we have planned this workshop in 8 days. So we'll include everything about Pardot with detailed demos wherever applicable. And the workshop is planned in a detailed exercise manner so that it helps you all understand everything about scratch about Pardot. And we also have an amazing lineup of marketing champions to cover the exercises and offer their guidance. Please note, we'll not be able to provide a practice org, but we'll do our best to include detailed demos. We will also try our best to cover all the release updates for each topic. And all the sessions are being recorded, so it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So, today's speaker's name is Anurag Parekh. He is a Salesforce marketing champion. He's also a marketing automation lead and implementation specialist. He's also the group leader of Marketers Group Ajmer and founder and blogger at the rate Pardot Champs. He's also 4x Salesforce certified. Not wasting much of the time, over to you, Anurag.
Hey, thank you so much, Khyati. Sorry. I'm very excited to be a part of this WIT group, and it's a very good initiative you have taken for the running the complete Pardot workshop. So hey everyone, I hope you already know me, and thank you for the introduction, Khyati. Uh, just giving a little bit background about myself. I'm having 8+ years of experience in the Pardot, closely work work with the CEOs, CMOs, and startup companies to help and like increase their ROI to set up their complete Pardot.org, and having a major experience with the enterprise clients also. So without wasting a time, let's start our session. And I have just got a message that my internet connection is unstable. So I am switching off my camera for a couple of minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Just to mention in between, we have a Kahoot quiz at the end where we'll have Pardot Champ swags to give away, and also the Match Street winner will get something. So stay tuned, guys.
Okay. Just let me know if my screen is visible. Kathy, can you please confirm?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So thank you for the introduction, Kathy. But if you guys want to reach out to me personally, or through Twitter or through LinkedIn, you can reach out to me. My Twitter handle is @AnuragParekh4, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn also. Apart from this, if you are interested to learn some technical blogs, if you want to hear some technical aspect of the Pardot, and want to learn more about the digital marketing, you can follow Pardot Champs. I'm doing my best to give Salesforce community whatever I have learned so far. So let's start with our session today. What we will be covering at today's agenda is we will be walk you through the Pardot campaigns, set up the Salesforce connected campaigns, how you can manage the prospects in your Pardot, list segmentations, how you can segment your list, how you can manage your list, and to know your recycle pens. Now, before moving ahead, let's take a quick look about what is campaigns in the Pardot. And this session is purely for those who are having zero knowledge in the Pardot, as this WIT Kolkata initiative states Pardot zero to hero. So let's start with a terminology which is named as campaign. So what is campaign exactly? A campaign is a step-by-step planned journey to promote your business or your individual goals. And these campaigns can be a short term or the long term, depend on your requirement. Every company is having a different set of campaigns. These campaigns might be your social media campaigns, might be your advertisement campaigns. If you have created any of your products, you can create a product enhancement campaigns. If you are doing some cross sellings or upsellings, you can do those things. And the campaigns are basically tied to a one single goal, that is increase your ROI. So these campaigns are basically created in the Pardot, and you need to closely, as a job of the Pardot admin, if you are a Pardot consultant or a Pardot specialist or Pardot uh, uh, go-to guy, for your organization, you need to closely work with your marketing team, because these campaigns are specifically designed by the marketing team. And you need to also give your suggestions, or you can say efforts, to your marketing side. Now we have some campaigns in the Pardot which is known as the Pardot campaigns. In Pardot, we have two types of campaigns. One is the Pardot campaigns, and the second one is the Salesforce campaigns. So a Pardot campaign is basically exists only in the Pardot. You cannot create the Pardot campaigns in your Salesforce, or basically you cannot transfer the Pardot campaigns in the Salesforce. How you can create the Pardot campaigns, we will be covering up in our demo sessions. These Pardot campaigns are basically used to track your prospect activities. Now, whenever you are creating any of your assets in the Pardot, assets means that you are creating any of the email templates, landing pages, forms handlers, any assets. You need to tie those assets with your campaigns. If your organization is using only the Pardot campaigns, then you will be creating those campaigns in your Pardot and add your campaign name associated with your relevant assets. When you are using Pardot campaigns, that means it's a source of truth. Pardot is counted as a source of truth for you. These Pardot campaigns are basically tied up with one-to-one. That means a one prospect can be a part of one Pardot campaigns. You cannot have a multiple prospects tied to, multiple prospects tied to a one campaign. One prospect can be tied to a multiple Pardot campaign. Now, these campaigns are basically created when you set up a Pardot campaign in your Pardot, it's captured your first touch point. That means it basically interact your customer by clicking on any of your track link. If you have filled out any of the form, if you have clicked on any of the email link, which is a tracker link associated in your email template. And these are basically tied up with your marketing sites, and the campaigns are automatically being set out. Each Pardot prospect is attached to a single campaign, as I said, and it's worked as a single touch point, which is a single attribute model. What is the Salesforce campaigns? So Salesforce campaigns are basically need to set up in your Salesforce, and you need to enable your Salesforce campaigns, which is called as a connected campaigns in your Pardot. The moment you enable the connected campaigns in your Pardot, those campaigns which you have created in your Salesforce having a different status, you can see in your Pardot account. Now, before going ahead with the Salesforce campaign, let's go ahead and just walk you through the Pardot side. So this is my account. Let me go over here. I just walk you through the complete two steps. One is the Lightning app, and the second one is the external access of the Pardot. So this is my Pardot account, which I have just installed in my Pardot, installed in my Salesforce. I have installed the packages and all. So you will be seeing the Pardot configuration in our later sessions with with the other speakers. So this is my Lightning app, and I hope yesterday also one of our speaker already gave you a brief introduction about the Pardot, about the navigation style. So this is my Pardot access from my Salesforce, and this is my external URL which I am logging from pi.demo.pardot.com. The URL you are seeing over here, pi.demo.pardot.com, is basically I'm accessing from a sandbox. This is not a production account. Now, for creating the Pardot campaigns, I need to navigate to the marketing and go to my campaigns. You can see there are some current Pardot campaigns I have already created. These are basically already created in my Pardot account. So you need to click on this add button and name your Pardot campaign as WIP. You need to assign them to a correct folder. Maybe you can create a new folder over here. WIP. I'm associating this into WIP. Now, there are some certain steps which name is, whenever you are trying to create any of the campaigns, is having a cost. If you are calculating the ROI for having specific campaigns, you need to enter the cost of your Pardot campaign, because this is very important at the end when you finish your campaigns running out from the Pardot, that how many prospects are engaged with the specific cost. So let's give a cost of $1,000, and these will be included into a dollar sheet. For the tag is basically used for tagging a specific campaigns, just to segment or just to analyze what type of campaign this you are running from the Pardot. And this is very important and a good feature which is offered by Pardot, that imagine you have 200 campaigns which are running, or which are exist in your Pardot. You can segment on the basis of this tagging. So I'm just adding a tag over here as WIP. This archive data is basically specific used after a few, once your campaign is being over, you can just add as archive date and you'll not see this campaign in your main list. So if I'm selecting this campaign on today is 31st, if I'm selecting this on 2nd, and I'm creating this campaign, after 2nd, you'll not see this campaign in my current campaign list over here. So my campaign is being created, WIT Pardot 0 to hero session. You can see there are three options over here. One is the current Pardot campaigns, archived campaign, and all Pardot campaign. If I click on this current campaigns, you'll see these campaigns are basically listed in my database. So there are some paginations. You can click on this pagination button, and you can see how many campaigns are basically created. The same for the archived campaigns. You can see once a campaign is being finished, you will see those campaigns will be listed in your archive site. When you go to the all Pardot campaigns, you will see all the Pardot campaigns are listed over here. Remember, we have created a tags, and these tags are basically used to segment or to find out your Pardot campaigns which you have created. So we have created this WIT Kolkata. If I'm clicking on this WIT Kolkata, it will be only showing me my campaign which I have created. And this is very super helpful. Imagine you have 5 admins, having the admin roles in your Pardot.org. And if they are creating different, campaigns as they are basically residing or taking care of the different regions. Maybe if you have 4 are in US, 3 are in India, and 2 are in UK. Those campaigns are basically designed specifically for the regions. Might be or might not be. If you are targeting a global market, then it will be a same that is single campaign. But if you are targeting specifically for a specific region, might be there is a you are creating the campaigns as per the region. So if you select a specific campaigns, if you are going with the tag option over here, and if you are selecting WIT Kolkata, you will see only the WIT Kolkata's session which is being created by me or anyone. if you are a Salesforce, or sorry, if you are a Pardot admin or the marketing side or the marketing role. So these techs are very helpful, and making sure you are creating those campaigns by closely working with your marketing team. Now, coming back to our slide, and I just want to take this thing, by going every topics with a single, with a demo. So that will be super helpful for us. Now, coming back to our Salesforce campaigns, as I said, that Salesforce campaign need to be created in your Salesforce. And the moment you enable your connected campaigns in your Pardot, you will seeing those campaigns are floating in your Pardot account. But why we are using the Salesforce campaigns, or what is the reason behind to Salesforce campaigns? So Salesforce campaigns are basically, track your any touch point in your customer cycle. We know that a lead or contact in your Salesforce can be associated to a many campaigns. So imagine David is a prospect, or David is a lead in your Salesforce, and David is basically you are sending out an email to David, or maybe your sales team or maybe your marketing team reach out to a David with a different set of campaigns. That is for email campaigns. There is some webinars. There might be some booth show, which will be gonna set up in next few days. So a lead or contact in Salesforce can be associated to a many campaigns. And the reason why we are using Salesforce campaign is to track the better track of your prospect engagement, metrics, and ROI. Your sales team and the marketing team can easily understand about your prospect flow from Pardot to the Salesforce, and you have a better visibility where your prospects or leads or contacts are sent in your Salesforce org. Salesforce campaigns are basically tied up with the multi-touch attribution model. Reason because, as I said, a prospect can be a part of multiple campaigns, Salesforce campaigns in your Salesforce. So this will be counted as a multi-touch attribution model. Salesforce campaigns are basically called as a source of truth because because it is created in your Salesforce, and it is synced from Salesforce to the Pardot, having a campaign members floating from your Salesforce to the Pardot. As I said, a prospect can be a part of the multiple Salesforce campaigns, so it is a multi-touch attribution model. There is some very good example, or you can say, a diagram in the next slide. So you're having a detail, a good comparison between the Salesforce and the Pardot campaigns. But let's go ahead and just go with our demo. Sorry. Okay, let me close this thing. Okay, so for enable the connected campaigns, you need to go either with the two ways. You can go with if you are using with external URL, you can go with there's a gear icon over here. You need to click on this gear icon, click on the settings, edit your account. When you scroll down, you will see the connected campaigns plus icon over here. And there is an option over here, enable connected campaigns and engagement hierarchy. So let me go first and let me show you one thing. When you go over here. Yeah. So right now we can see the Pardot campaign. There's a plus icon over here. That means you can create the Pardot campaigns. The second one is the Salesforce campaign down the line. We will be covering these things in a demo, but let's focus on this all Pardot campaigns. That means right now you have visibility to create the Pardot campaigns. Now, the moment you enable your Salesforce connected campaigns, and it will be giving you a warning that your connected campaigns, when you enable the connected campaigns, all your new campaigns must be created in your Salesforce. That means you cannot create your Pardot campaigns once you enable the Salesforce campaigns. The campaigns become the read-only. That means you cannot edit the campaigns in your Pardot. I mean, you can edit the campaigns, but you cannot change the criterias and all. So all these things need to be set up in your Salesforce. So our campaign is being set up. When you click on this reload icon, say, that means now we cannot use the Pardot campaigns. There's an option over here that is you can connect your campaigns with the Excel file. I mean, if you are having your old Pardot campaigns in which you want to connect, you can connect your campaigns in your, map your campaigns with your Pardot campaigns with your Salesforce campaigns. There's a downloaded sheet over here. You can click on this downloaded campaign spreadsheet, and this will give you an idea what data you need to add in your sheet. You need to add the Pardot ID, the Pardot name, the name of your campaign, your Salesforce ID, and your Salesforce name. And if the Salesforce campaign is specifically tied to a record type. As this is my very old account, I'm not able to showcase you about this thing, but it's very easy thing, So imagine you are using a Pardot ID. You need to add your Pardot ID over here. You need to add the Pardot name. Imagine we are using WIP. Salesforce ID over here might be your Salesforce ID of your Salesforce and the Salesforce name. The second option is that you can use the bulk option with the help of Workbench. You can connect your Pardot campaigns with your new Salesforce campaigns with the help of Workbench. You need to download your all Pardot campaign list, and then you can easily map your Pardot campaigns with your Salesforce campaign. The third option is basically connect your individual. You can connect your individual Pardot campaigns with your Salesforce campaigns. So the moment you enable your Pardot campaigns from your Salesforce campaigns in your Pardot, your Pardot campaigns are no more. I mean, you cannot create the Pardot campaigns in Salesforce. And you can see that these two campaigns were being created on 30th of October. That's great. Okay. So these two campaigns are basically synced from Salesforce to Pardot. Now coming back to a lightning hour, this is the walkthrough how you can set up your connected campaigns in your Pardot with the external URL. When you go to this Pardot settings and go to your connectors, this is our package user, B2BM integration user. This is the version 2 connector. You need to click on this edit settings. There's an option called over name as campaigns. And see, as we have already check marks over here, so this is basically enabled. So you can enable your connected campaigns from your Lightning app. This is called as a Pardot Lightning app, and this is called the external URL. So you can just enable those things. There are a few more checks over here. If you are adding those things, make sure that you are doing a proper due diligence, that it won't affect any of your campaign members floating from Salesforce to Pardot. The reason why, because we have every Pardot org comes up with a mailable database limit. So if you are crossing a mailable database limit, you will be having an Pardot will charge you on the basis of the mailable contacts. So coming back to our session. Now, this is a very beautiful diagram, and you can easily, have a glimpse about the difference between the Pardot and the Salesforce campaign. As I said, the Pardot is track only, first touch point, which means is that once you filled out a form and it is being associated to a relevant source campaigns, it will be capture your source campaigns first. And that's why nowadays companies are using Salesforce campaigns, because you want to track any a prospect of any of your touch throughout the customer cycle, no matter if you filled out a form today or day after tomorrow, or might be if they have filled out a couple of weeks back. So Pardot campaigns are basically campaigns which are need to be tracked in your Pardot. And these can be tracked, as I said, by clicking on any of your tracked link, or maybe fill out any of your forms, or maybe if you are sent out any of the emails to your prospect, and if there is a CTA button, a prospect can be redirected to a specific landing page, and if you filled out the forms. So these are basically a very good example for the Pardot campaigns and the Salesforce campaigns. Pardot campaigns are basically house for all your related marketing assets. You cannot create assets without creating the campaigns. And these campaigns are basically hosted in your Pardot. If you have created in your Salesforce, also in Salesforce campaign, it should be get populated in your Pardot. Now let's do one thing. Let's create a one Salesforce campaign. I'm just going over here. Let me go to the setup. Or maybe I'm just clicking on this campaign. I'm just using the campaign name as WIT. Make sure you are checking this box as an active. If you are not active this checkbox of a particular campaign, your campaign is won't visible in your Pardot. Now, this is basically customizable. If your campaign is basically used for a webinar, you can go with a webinar. If your campaign is basically specifically used for email communication, you can go with the email communication, respective of what is the type or what is the use case of this campaign. So let's take it the webinar. The following things are basic. Let's make this as a plan, because once your campaign is starting execution, you can click on this in progress. Now this is, you can just create your campaigns over here, start date. So if I'm starting this one today, and I just want this campaign to be get over on maybe on 30th, and this is the expected revenue in the campaign. If you are tracking the ROIs, what is the budget of the campaign, what how much dollars you are going to invest in your particular campaign, and these information you need to fill out. When you click on this save, and once your campaign is being marked as active, you can see that campaigns visible in your Pardot. Now this campaign is not being visible as of now because it takes some time to get synced from Salesforce to Pardot, and these things will be getting synced by the help of this connector. So when you go to this connector admin, when you navigate to your this admin section, you need to go to this connector. And as I said, a connector plays a crucial role to syncing from like any of your campaigns members, anything leads and contacts from Salesforce to Pardot and from Pardot to Salesforce. So this is a connected user, and once it is being status as verified, you will see it is being floating over here. But there is a quick workaround. If you want to see a campaign floating in your Pardot quickly, so you can just go with any of your campaigns, that is Salesforce campaign, which is being created over here. You need to click on this gear icon, click on this edit, and there's a refresh the icon over here. Just click on this refresh icon, and you will see a WIT Kolkata, which we have recently created in Salesforce. Okay. Now, when you go to this cancel, and when you reload this browser, you will be seeing connected campaigns, in a couple of minutes floating over here. But there is an option over, there is a one more thing which is named as unconnected Pardot campaigns. As I said, that these are campaigns which are created in your Pardot. If you want to connect this campaign with your Salesforce campaign, you can go and edit. Click on this gear icon, click on this connect to CRM campaigns. And if you have created this CRM campaigns names, like similarly in your Salesforce WIT Pardot campaign. So let's do one thing. Let's copy this and go to our campaign. Click on this new, and I'm just taking the same name as over here. I'm marking this as a checkbox as active, and as this is a webinar, I'm clicking on this webinar. Now, if I'm selecting right now, you'll see only two things. But if I'm clicking on the refreshing data, there's our session. One second. Yeah. See, it's now been popping up over here. So it will take some time. It ideally take times 2 to 4 minutes. But if you want a quick workaround, as I said, you can go with any of your unconnected campaigns. Click on this gear icon, and the moment you click on this connect with WIT Pardot 0 to 0 session, that means you are connecting your Pardot campaigns with your Salesforce campaigns, and click on the save campaigns. Now, this campaign is basically created and it is mapped with your CRM campaigns. Now, this campaign, which is created in your, in your Pardot account first, that is a Pardot campaign, is no more usable in your Pardot. The ownership is now being taken care by the Salesforce campaign, and every campaign is associating with the tracking code. So imagine if this, we have a website called as witkolkata.com, and there's a Google form which is, not Google form, there's a form which is hosted in your, WIT Kolkata group. And if you want to track your prospects, if somebody filled out a form from that landing page, there's a tracking code over here. You need to click on this tracking code. You need to copy this complete tracking code, and you need to place in between the estimate close body tag. The moment you add your tracking code, you can easily see or capture the prospect activities over here. Now, when you go to our campaigns, you'll see the cloud icon. That means this campaign is basically synced from from Salesforce to Pardot. And remember, this campaign were originally created in our Pardot, but we have mapped this campaign from Pardot to Salesforce, and the cloud icon shows is it is now being synced with the Salesforce. So when you click on this gear icon, cloud icon, you will be redirecting to a Salesforce campaign, and you'll see the campaign members, if there are any campaign members are associated with this. So if there is any activity, or like if there are any automation rule which you have created in your Pardot that a prospect filled out XYZ form and need to be get redirected or synced to a specific Salesforce campaign, you can use the name of this WIT Pardot 0 to 0 session 2, and your prospect will become a campaign member associating with the Salesforce campaign. And this campaign have a detailed analysis when your sales rep, or like if you are a sales rep working in your Salesforce, working in your organization, or might be your marketing team, have a detailed analysis about how many campaign campaign members are coming from your Pardot to Salesforce. And same, you can create a reports and dashboards. If you are using a dashboards, you can create the campaign reports. If you are using the B2B marketing analytics, which is the Analytics Studio in the Pardot, which is the add-on package, you can create a multi-touch attribution model, and you have a detailed analysis where your prospects touch any of your assets throughout their life cycle. Now, coming back to our slide. So this is the difference between the Salesforce and the Pardot campaigns. That means you can map your Pardot campaign with your Salesforce. Now we have the prospect management, how you can manage your prospects in the Pardot. The moment you get your prospects in your Pardot, it's your job, once you have the email address from your visitor, and once a visitor provided your email address, that means it's become a prospect in your Pardot account. So a Pardot account, once you get the email address, that means it's become a prospects, and then you can segment your prospect in your Pardot database. Usually, whenever a prospect is created in your Pardot, it's need to be get synced from Pardot to Salesforce, and we cannot sync a prospect without an assignment in your Pardot. So you need to assign a user. There are a couple of checkpoints. You need to make sure that these checkpoints are used, and depends upon your business requirement. You cannot sync all your prospects from Pardot to Salesforce. There might be some lead scoring models you have already been set up. That means a lead is, once a prospect reach out to a threshold point of 30 or 40, then only you need to sync your prospects from Pardot to Salesforce. Syncing will take place in two ways. Either you can sync to a specific user, or you can sync your prospect to a queue. Those queues need to be get created in your Salesforce. And once you create a queue in your Salesforce, it should be visible in your Pardot account. And then you can assign a specific prospect in a queue. And, like as per the rules which you have created in your Salesforce queue, it should be get floating and showing the notification to a sales rep or a lead owner. You can audit the prospects also. That means how much time a prospect spends on your website or maybe on a specific page, from where a prospect is, came into your Pardot. I mean, is it came from the Google Ads? Is it came from, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or any of your social media channels or any of your different mediums? You can also segment your prospect through some mailing list. Imagine uh, you have an email campaign which is being running out on Monday morning, and you have a prospect which is created in your Pardot, and you want to send out email to that particular prospect. You can add your prospect into a mailing list. Same if a prospect is opted out any of your email communication, if he opted out any of your email preferences, you can just suppress this prospect by adding into a suppression list. Or if a prospect reach out to your sales rep and if he dropped an email that please remove me from your mailing list, you can do the same things. There is a new feature release in summer 21, which is auto upgraded in all the orgs now, which is called as prospect mailability improvements. This feature was give a complete glance about where your prospect is currently standing. We will be completing this thing, or I will be showcasing you about this thing, prospect mailability improvement, in next 2 minutes. But before this, I just want to give you a briefing about why this feature is being rolled out as a part of the prospect management. Is a prospect mailability improvements is a very good feature which is rolled out by Pardot, is having a detailed analysis where your prospect is currently standing. Is your prospect is having a duplicate prospects are being created with the same email address? The same if your prospect is being hard bounced or if it is being soft bounced. So there is a different mailability section which is recently being introduced. So let's go ahead and let's do the prospect management in the Pardot. So you need to navigate to the Pardot, go with the navigate to the prospect tab, need to click on this prospect list. And imagine David Rees, which is being created in the, like in our Pardot over here. And you can see there is no activities right now because he didn't fill out any of the form. But there is a new mailability feature, which I just said, this feature is being released in summer 21, and it is now being auto upgraded in winter 22 release orgs. So this is a feature, this is a prospect. You can see a status of this prospect as mailable. This is a unique email address. That means there is no duplicate by having this email address in the Pardot account. The opted out is basically false. He didn't click on any of our email preferences. He don't want, he want our email, communication from our Pardot or from the business. He did not opt out any of the email, and there is no do not email. Now this do not email is basically, this mailability section was recently introduced, as I said, and this do not email field is tied up with the hard bounce and the soft bounces. So if there is any hard bounce in your Salesforce, or sorry, in your Pardot mark them as do not email as true. Previously, we don't have any visibility. It was very tedious job for a marketer or for a Pardot admin that they need to segment or they need to filter out any of the reports if they are sending out email from the Pardot. They need to go for the email, like for the every email template, and they need to check how many hard bounce they have, how many soft bounce they have, or how many unique clicks XYZ. So this hard bounce feature is detected over here. If there is any hard bounce, Pardot will be mark this as a yes. And if you think that this is a real hard bounce, there's an option, once a Pardot mark them as a yes, you'll be seeing an clickable link that if you think that this prospect is not hard bounce, somehow it is being marked as hard bounce, you can reset your this prospect mailability status from yes to no. The moment you go with a no, you will be seeing this thing, a prospect as a mailability part. Now coming back to our next, I just want to take a next prospect. Uh, Maybe we can take this API. Yeah. So you can these are the prospect activities, and when I'm hovering my mouse, you will seeing the visiting page and what is the IP address, right? So these things are basically a new release offered by Pardot. It was not being there before Summer 21. So you can see right now the prospect activity. What is the IP address, from which IP address a prospect filled out a form. This prospect, if you want to manage these prospects, there's a few tabs over here, which is overview. This will give you a complete glance of your prospect. What is the mailable status? Is this email address is unique or not? What is the score of your prospects? And like, as I said that, if you want to sync out or push your prospect from Pardot to Salesforce, you need to assign your prospects. So there is an option over here named as assign. You can do assignment into a two-way. Either you can go with a manual assignment or you can create an automation rule. So if you want to go with the individual assignment, you need to click on this assign. There's a four option over here. If you want to assign with a specific user, you can go with a user. And there's a few users over here. If you want to go with a specific group, these groups need to be get created in your Pardot. For a queue part, as I said, these queues need to be get created in your Salesforce. So if you have created a lead queue in your Salesforce, stating a country equals to United States, that means all the leads which are floating, having a country as United States, you can assign them to a correct queue. Or maybe into a different way, like as per your business requirement. You can also use the Salesforce active assignment rules, and making sure you are using a Salesforce active assignment rules, you are adding a notes over here so that we have a detailed description or detailed glance about why this prospect is being assigned to a specific assignment rules. So let's do one thing, and let's go with a manual thing over here. You can go with the assign and see right now there is no cloud icon. Okay. The second thing is that you'll be denoting a prospect at whether it's a lead or contact. There is a specific CRM lead ID, specific contact ID. The moment you assign to a Pardot champs, click on this assign prospect, and you will see the cloud icon once it is being refreshed. See, this is the cloud icon. When you scroll down, you will be seeing that this is being created as a lead in Salesforce, and the record type is lead. Okay. So when you click on this cloud icon, you can see this prospect is being created in your Salesforce as a part of lead. And all the details which is being captured from the Pardot is being populated over here. Now coming back to this prospect, Abhi, this prospect is having a different, we have a different tabs over here. You can assign this prospect to a specific list. If you filled out any of, a contact us form, you can add them into a contact us list, which is a mailable list. You can click on this list and see there's an option over here. You can suppress the prospect. If you don't want to send out an email to this prospect, this Abhi Sharma, you can add them into a suppressed prospect. You can add them to if there is any hard bounce detected, you can either go with a manual option or you can create some automations at the backend. You will be seeing the automation rules and the segmentation rules in our next sessions. But if you want to, add a specific prospect, there is a specific requirement from the client that, that your marketing manager reach out to you. And if he gave you the email address of a prospect and asking that please add this prospect in our internal mailable list or into our master list, you can navigate to the list section, click on any of your required list, and you can click on save list. The profile section over here denotes about a grading, which we'll be covering up in our next session. This is a complete detail, a very big and important sessions in the Pardot. Make sure the gradings and sessions you won't miss in our future, the upcoming sessions, because with the help of these gradings, you are qualifying your leads and giving them a grades of A plus and moving forward. So right now the profile criteria is default, but you can create your profiles in your Pardot. So imagine if there is a VP of marketing who filled out a form that will become a potential lead for you. That means a potential customer. When you go to these activities, you will seeing the activity of a prospect. Okay, so you'll see the type, you will seeing how many pages he visited. When you click on this view page, you will seeing that this Abhi Sharma visited my website, par.champs.com. So this is my entry point. He visited directly from the contact us page. He might be visited to our social media campaigns. He spent 2 minutes and the score is 1. So these scores are basically being created in your Pardot. If you want to give a custom scoring, you can also do a custom scoring. So uh, we will be giving a separate sessions in our things. Moving forward with the WIT Kolkata 0 to hero sessions. This is the page view, how much time he spent on a particular page and the date and time. This is the audit section. This audit section includes, it will give you, what things have been changed with the prospect. So remember, we have just added, we have just assigned this Abhi Sharma prospect from Pardot to Salesforce, and you're seeing the source icon over there. That means it's reassigned to Pardot Champs, and the date is October 30. It's captured October 30. It's because of the US time frame, I think. Yeah, it's a US time frame. And same, it is being added to an internal test list. So when you scroll down, you will see all the details which a prospect filled out. So he, the first name he filled out through a web form. The first name captured from from the old value from blank to zero, blank to a new value. The same for the email address from blank to the email address, the phone number, and the comments. Because he's doing some testing, so he decided, "Hi, this is testing." It is being added to a completion action, which is a contact us form. Now, this action is basically used because there was a contact us form which is being created earlier, and he filled out a form, and it's being added to a contact us form. These are the page actions. Page actions are very interesting thing. You can give them a scorings if a particular prospect reach out to a specific page. Might be if he want to just take a knowledge about a specific price of your product, you can give them a scores also on the basis of that one. So this is the audit section. When you go to this life cycle, you'll seeing the prospect, where your prospect is currently standing. So these are the life cycle stages. And say right now the current state is a prospect. Okay, there are some different stages and depends upon your requirement. So we have in the marketing called as MQLs and SQLs. There is a complete journey, which is a marketing journey to the sales journey. So we have basically called as a band status, which is a budget, authority, need, and timeline. And a complete marketing B2B company or B2B organizations having these status captured as the lead status in your Salesforce. So once a prospect is being assigned as MQLs, that means it's reached out to a threshold point and you are assigning a prospect in your Salesforce. A prospect, once a score reach out to a threshold point, it will become a status as MQLs. But these things need to be get configured first in your Pardot, having a lead status values. The second one is the opportunities. Opportunities are the read-onlys. These are basically created in your Salesforce, and from Salesforce, it will be gonna sync in your Pardot. If it is being one, you will be seeing the status as opportunity one. If it is being opportunity got closed, lost, or maybe because of any of the reason, you will be seeing the status over here. When you click on this opportunity, if this Abhi Sharma is basically converted into the opportunity, you will be seeing this prospect called as into this opportunity tab. The same for related objects. Related objects are basically count as the custom objects, which we need to integrate from the Salesforce to the Pardot. So once a prospect is being tied with a specific custom object, so imagine this prospect is being tied up, he inquired about a specific product name as Philips, uh, and this particular product is having a product line item, or might be you have created a custom objects in your Salesforce, which is being tied up with your leads or contacts. So you will seeing those things over here. So this is the prospect management. The same for the prospect management, you can use to a specific list. Now coming back to our slide, we have a next topic named as managing list. Now lists are basically created in your Pardot. These lists are basically having a 4 type of list. Is having a we have a dynamic list, static list, email test list, public list, and CRM visible list. These lists are basically used in your Pardot to segment your prospects. Now coming back to our slide, Pardot. For managing your list or for doing a segmentation, you need to navigate to the marketing, segmentation, click on this list. When you click on this add list, there is a button over there named as add list. If you want to go with a scratch list, you can click on this add list. You can name them as a naming convention as WIP. So you'll see the 4, there are a few options over here named as email test list, dynamic list, public list, and CRM visible list. If you make this list as a dynamic list, that means you are adding some filter criteria, and this dynamic list are based on some based on some criteria which you will be pulling out your data from your either from the Pardot or either from your Salesforce. If you make this list as a test list, this means that you are doing some internal testing, and the limit will be 100 prospects. Now, the moment you click on this email test list and create list, it will be a static list for you. When you go to this dynamic list, this dynamic list states that there are some predefined rules, predefined criteria on which you are populating your prospects into a specific list. There's a public list option over here. This public list is need to be get created if you want to make this list available in your email preference center. Email preference center are basically, to capture your preferences in your email. You'll be seeing this email preference in our next sessions. There's a tag which we need to add in every of the email template, and we are giving a visibility to a prospect, to uh, to to click any of their preferences, so that we can just capture or we can send out an emails to those. So once you add this as a label, as like if you want to make this as a public list available, you can select this as a public list. But let's do with the dynamic list first. You need to click on this dynamic and add new rules. You click on, there are some certain criteria which is match all and match any. You need to click on match all. If you want to use field criteria, like imagine if you want to go with prospect email status as do not email. So, and you can use the multiple one, if you want to go with the multiple one. And prospect default field is not empty. Or maybe you can do prospect first name is not empty. Make sure you are doing a preview first if you are creating any of the lists, so that you have a clear visibility how many prospects are falling out. So once you do a preview, you'll seeing a preview icon, it's generating a preview. It will take some time because this is my sandbox account. So sandbox functionality in the functionality in the sandbox is pretty much lowest compared to the production. So when you go to this another list, let's do one thing. Let's go with the another segmentation. Till then, let's get to work. And when you go to this add new list, I'm just using as WIP Kolkata session 2. And I'm not making this as a dynamic list as of now. Okay, I'm just going with a create list. Now, the moment you add to a create list, this will be count as a static list. See, when you click on this detail, there is no criteria. So that means this is a static list, which you don't want to make any criteria. Okay. Now, where you can use this list on a specific way, if you are importing a prospect in your Pardot. So just take an example. If you are importing a, a booth show which recently happened, and your marketing team send you a CSV file having a data of 50K or might be 20K of your prospects, and you need to get import. So you can create a dynamic. I mean, you can create a static list, by having all those 50K prospects, and you can add those 50K prospect into a list. Importing the data and all will be covering up in the next sessions. Now coming back to our list, see, we have added a criteria over here named as a prospect email status is contains do not email, and the first name is not having a blank. Okay, so we have these three prospects which are being added as per our criteria. Now you can go ahead and create this add roles, run roles. Now, the moment you create a run roles, you will be seeing in a couple of minutes that all our three prospects are a part of this list. There's an option over here named as split list. When you click on the split list, you can split your dynamic list into your static list. But remember, you cannot convert the static list into the dynamic list. You can convert the dynamic list into the static list, and there's an option over here. So if you want to, so just imagine if this part of Kolkata session is having 500 attendees or 300 attendees, and if you want to segment this 500 list into a true list, you can give them either a percentage. There is an option, a split prospect evenly between all two new lists. When you click on this checkbox, it will be counted as 50-50%. If you want to make another percent, you can just adjust over here. That means 30% over here, maybe 80%, and maybe remain the 20%. Okay. You want 10% of this being added to a specific list one, 80% will be the part of the second list, and the 3% will be the part of this list. You can split this list by clicking on the split list. But as I said, you cannot split the static list into the dynamic list, but from the dynamic list, you can do with the static list. Now go back to our, let's go back to our segmentation list one more time. There's another option called a CRM Visible List. This CRM Visible List is allow users to make or to edit the list from the Salesforce, and which is being visible in your Salesforce. So if you make this a CRM visible, users are being allowed to make the list edits from the Salesforce. Specific from the archive date, if you want a specific campaign is being over, you can select this archive date and select the date, and the list will be removing from your current list, and it will be populating in your archive list over here. There are a few options over here which are dynamic lists. If you select this dynamic list, you will be seeing the dynamic list which is being populated. If there is a test list which you have created, you can see the test list. We have created the internal test list. There is a one internal test list which is having 2 prospects. If there is any inactive dynamic list, you can see this inactive dynamic list floating in this view. An archived list, as I said, once your list is being over from a specific date, you will be seeing this archived list. Now coming back to our session slide. Now we have a recycle bin. Okay, so this recycle bin is it's basically capture all your prospects if it is being being deleted from your Pardot, or any of your assets if you have deleted from the Pardot. All the data will be, all the assets will be get resides in your recycle bin. When you delete the assets, it's moved to a recycle, and these assets cannot be permanently deleted, okay, except the prospects. Now before summer 18, I don't know the exact release, but few years back we cannot delete a prospects permanently from the Pardot. But now you have a visibility, you have a ownership that you can permanently delete a prospect from your Pardot. You can restore most of your assets from your recycle bin. So imagine you have created, you have deleted 5 of the email template, or like any of your landing pages or any of your layout templates. You can go ahead and just delete, that is, you can go ahead and undelete your assets from your recycle bin. The items in the recycle bins won't count towards your limit. So we all know that a Pardot is count on the basis of the mailable database limit. So if you are having, if you are having a prospects deleted count 50K and your account limit is 30K, it will not count in your, Pardot will not charge you anything. The two things which need to be get understand is tags and the contents files are deleted permanently, and you cannot appear, and like it is not visible in the recycle bins. So these two things are very important if you are using tags, if you are creating any of your assets, and if you are tagging those assets, whether it's a campaign or whether it's list, or whether any of your marketing assets, make sure you are using a proper tags and make sure you are not deleting those things. If you are deleting those things, you cannot see those tags appear in your recycle bin. And same for the files, if the files are being hosted in your Pardot. Now, how you can see the recycle bin option? You need to navigate to the admin. So for every configurations, you need to go with the admin section. There's the recycle bin option. You need to click on this recycle bin, and you can see all the modules which we have created, which is basically exist in our Pardot, and how many items are basically deleted. So there's an automation rule which is recently being deleted. If you go with this automation rule, there's automation rule which was being deleted by Pardot Cham. You can click on this. If you want to undelete, you can click on this undelete option, and it will automatically appear in our recycle bin. So let's go with the undelete option. Now, when you go to this automation rule, you will seeing this thing. Okay, Pardot prospect mailability. Now, same for the other. As I said, tags are not basically appear in our Pardot. So when you search tags over here, there is no tags. Okay. Same for the files. Whenever you are deleting any of the files, say there is no files over here. Okay. So whenever you are deleting any files, make sure either you are taking a backup in somewhere in your CSV file or in your Google Drive, or same for the tags also, and same for the files also. For the prospects over here, when you click on these prospects are basically, if you want to delete these prospects, you can, if you want to undelete, you can go with the undelete. If you want to go with permanent delete, you can click on this permanent delete, and Pardot will warns you that you are deleting this prospect, and all the activities which is associated with this record will be gonna delete. So if you go with confirm and go with a permanent delete, you can delete these prospects, and you will be get notified when your prospect is being deleted through the email. So I have done with my things today. If you have any questions, I am happy to take.
Thank you, Anurag, for such an insightful session. We do have questions for you. I'll read out it for you. And we change only by automation.
Sorry, Kathy, can you please repeat again?
Yeah. Can we change the prospect score, or it can be changed only by automation?
So you can change the prospect score through the automations.
Okay. There's one more question. Can we sync Salesforce campaign to Pardot? I think you have covered this.
Yep, we can.
Yeah. I heard that the prospect will have the Pardot score, and the score signifies the prospect interest on the product. Is it true?
Yes. So basically, in Pardot, we can create two types of score model. One is the standardized model, and second one is the custom model. So you can create as per your requirements.
Okay. Can we merge two duplicate campaign?
Two duplicate campaigns you can merge through by uploading the campaigns in your Pardot.
Can we change the prospect score, or it can be? This is done. Sorry. How to get permanently deleted prospect back to Pardot?
So permanent back to the Pardot is you need to import again through the CSV file.
Okay. How connected campaigns are different than Pardot campaign?
So connected campaigns are, as I said, connected campaigns are tracked or touch any of your customer lifecycle. A one prospect. So imagine, as I said, David is a prospect. Just take an example of David. David can be a part of the multiple Salesforce campaigns, but if that David is being associated with the Pardot campaign, he should be tied up with only a one campaign.
Okay. Namrata is asking that am I missing some setup? All option is not showing in my campaign page view. I can see only three options: connected, archived, and unconnected Pardot campaigns.
So there is an option when you go to these connected campaigns. There's an option that is enable your connected campaigns and campaign member sync. There's a three options over there. You need to select those. Maybe Namrata, you can reach out to me one-to-one. I can just walk you through the campaign setup.
Is it necessary to connect Pardot campaigns to Salesforce campaigns?
It's not necessary, but if your organization or your business model is want to track a multi-touch activation model, then it's best to use the Salesforce connected campaigns.
Okay. Can we merge two duplicate campaign?
Uh, Two duplicate campaigns? I don't think so. I never tried this yet, but I'll get back to you on this.
Okay. Can I manually upload prospect and associate to multiple Pardot campaign?
The multiple Pardot campaigns, as I said, if it is a multiple Pardot campaigns, you cannot. I mean, a prospect cannot be a part of the multiple campaigns. I think this is an ask.
Yeah. What are the best practices or advantages and disadvantages having connected campaign and not campaign?
So connected campaigns, the best advantage is, as I said, you'll be having a complete detailed flow of your prospect lifecycle journey. You will be seeing a campaigns influence model. There is some campaign influence model where you will be having a detailed view of your prospects. Now, a disadvantage, I don't think so any disadvantage, but that's depend upon, like as I said, that's depend upon your requirement. And these things are basically you know uh, these things are basically captured or gathered by your marketing site. So a disadvantage is, the only thing is that once if you are segmenting your prospects, uh, which are hard bounds or maybe a short bound, so you need to make sure that these prospects are mailable prospects, which you need to be counted into your part of.
Okay. How many days will the items be in recycle bin?
Sorry.
How many days will the items be in recycle bin?
So in how many days? For the assets parts and all, it will be counted in your throughout your journey. I mean, till your account is being used by the organization.
Okay.
So there's a
Uh,
difference between recycle bin of your Pardot and your Salesforce. We don't have any limits. You can have your prospects deleted in your Pardot accounts till your account is live.
can we merge two duplicate campaigns?
Merge to duplicate campaign, I need to check. Yeah.
The last question, I suppose, how to check a website tracking code is placed on a website if I don't have access to Pardot?
Okay. So let me share you my screen. Okay. Okay. So this is my contact us page. And what we have did is, when you click on this inspect element, sorry, you need to select an inspect element name as Pardot. So you will see This is the JavaScript. One second. Pardot. This is my Pardot account ID. This is my campaign ID, which I've just added over here. So this is the, you can inspect your website page and search through the Pardot, and same for the campaign IDs. Okay.
Okay, so I think this was all. Thank you, Anurag, for such an insightful session and clearing for all the doubts.
Thank you so much, Kathy.